Hello everybody, it's your boy Kaineiken here, coming at you with another video. Today I wanted to talk, just talk. Before I get into the story though, I wanted to talk about a couple of things. First off, yes, we're still in the infinity screen layout. I can't figure out how this PC works, so as of right now, we are indefinitely filming in this format. Which is unfortunate because I want to make good quality content, but unfortunately that's not happening as of right now. But we can get there. Just like and subscribe and leave a comment telling me what you want to hear about, and I will make it happen. Format or no format, I'm here to entertain, so let's get right into it. I wanted to talk today about a type of person that you work in retail with. Every single job has this kind of person, but the retail version is extremely dangerous for a couple of reasons. The first reason being that retail is one of those jobs where there can be no black herrings at all. Like, you cannot, I mean, you can't get caught up in bad stuff. You can't get caught up in like embarrassing scandals. You can't even be caught up saying something that's slightly offensive, and your background really shows when you work in a retail job. I've worked in retail for many years, and I've seen plenty of people come and go. I've seen plenty of people come and go for reasons such as being racist or profiling people or just saying something that's just out of the ordinary or weird or just wrong. But I just wanted to get right into this kind of person. I call this person the nosy Susan. I had one that worked with me for the longest time. And the nosy Susan tends to just want to get into your personal business nonstop, always asking you questions. Typically a female. It's typically a female. She always wants to ask you 110 questions about where you're going, what you're doing, who you're talking to, who you're dating. In my case, was a really weird and really awkward situation for me. And they're just typically not good people. They tend to get all up in your personal business and then use that to perpetually become a Brownnoser and to get you in trouble to make themselves look like a better human being when really they're just the scum of the earth and low down. So that's just the kind of person that they are. They're just pieces of absolute garbage. They don't care about you. They don't care about their friends. They don't even care about their family. They'll rat out their family to make themselves look like heroes. And they all do it by getting in your personal business and just pressing up on you uncomfortably and making you spill the beans on something you normally wouldn't tell somebody. So we're doing this new format in the series. Sorry to take a quick break from that, but this new format in the series, the type of people series, what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you about the kind of person, and I'm going to tell you a story from personal experience about this kind of person. So let me get right into it. So this happened probably about 2015, no, it was 2016. It was late into 2016. It was about to become the new year. This story takes place on Black Friday of 2016. I'm not going to say where I work, but Susan, of course not her real name, I'm not going to disclose her real name here on the video, was working the cash register, and I was also working a cash register right next to her. And when I work with customers, I like to be honest with them about policies, about protection plans on items, and things like that. So I'm brutally honest, even if the company never even necessarily wanted me to be. I was always honest because I believe, in the end of the day, you can do things the company's way, or you can do things the right way, and ripping people off with just shitty offers on protection plans aren't a really good deal. But I digress, and I'm going to get back to it now. So I'm sitting at a register in front of Susan, our nosy Susan, and she's consistently just badgering me, asking me questions. This was right before the sale took place, so we were kind of slow. I mean, there were a few people coming in and out of registers like nonstop, kind of like on a rotation, but I mean, it wasn't too bad because it wasn't the sale yet. Everybody was guarding the items they wanted to get, which I'll make another video about how ridiculous Black Friday is another time, but that's for another video. But Susan's sitting behind me. I'm sitting in front of her. I'm on a cash register, she's on a cash register. This is the scene for our story. Now, I sat on that register next to her from probably 5:30 p.m. to about 9:30 p.m. consistently with no break. Because it was just non-stop busy, which is what Black Friday is. It's just non-stop busy. And in that time, I had talked about multiple things with a cashier who was sitting in front of me. A younger lady who I was friends with at the time. I was just talking to her about like odd stuff. She was new to the job, so she was always asking everybody questions. And she was more comfortable talking to me because at the time the most people that worked there were older, and I was kind of her age, so it made things a little bit less awkward to talk to me than rather than go to one of the older people and just start asking a bunch of questions. So we're talking back and forth, just talking about random stuff, video games, Black Friday deals, the Necronomicon, just basic high schooler lingo going on. And I started talking to a customer who came through my register line with a PlayStation 4 Pro, and 2 controllers. And which was all really weird because they weren't locked up, and at this establishment that stuff was really normally locked up, but we had it unlocked for the sake of the sale because there were cops and security guarding the doors, so there's no way people were going to get out of it by stealing. But he comes to my register line, sits the stuff on the counter, and I scan the PS4 Pro. And as per usual, the register prompted for, or not the PS4 Pro, the PS4, my apologies, it was a regular PS4. PS4 Pro wasn't out yet. But as per usual, the register prompted for a product care plan. And I told him about the product care plan. I ran it through for him, but they're all third party. Where I worked at the time, they were all third party product care plans, and it was just they weren't good. You had to activate them online. You had to pay a deductible. The deductible covered the shipping of the product that you were sending out to either get fixed or to get reimbursed. So you couldn't even get reimbursed for the item. So if you broke, say for example, you had your phone and you broke it and you registered it under a product care plan, you would have to buy another phone anyways because they wouldn't send you a replacement phone, and it usually took 2 weeks to ship out and ship back. So it was kind of a really useless product care plan. Maybe not necessarily on a PlayStation, because a person doesn't necessarily need a PlayStation, so they can send it out and 2 weeks later get it back or get reimbursed if it can't be fixed. And most of the time with PlayStations they couldn't be fixed, they were just flat out reimbursed. So that usually only took about 5 days. Or business week, rather. So, I tell this guy, I tell him the price of the plan, I break it all down for him, and he looks at me in my face and asks me, is it worth it? At the price he was getting the PlayStation 4, which I think they were like $400 at this time, regular, and he was getting it for like $250. So I told him that no, it wasn't really worth it. I would stray away from it and just hope for the best. Because at $250, he got stealing it anyways, and the product care plan was ringing at full price, and it was just a headache of a product care plan that I would rather pay the extra $250 or $400 even just to get a new one rather than deal with a product care plan. That's how bad it was. Well, comes to find out, good old nosy Susan behind me heard the entire conversation. Lo and behold, 3 days later, I come into work, still a cashier at this point in time. I come into work, before I can even get logged in and clocked in or whatever you want to call it, and even go up to the front to get my cash register, managers pull me into the office and tell me, oh, you told a customer the truth. You can't do that. You got to sell product care plans. Mind you, where I worked, we made zero commission. We made no money off of selling product care plans, so it was really pointless to try to do it anyways. But they wanted us to, and they expected us to lie to the customer, and that's a common thing in modern corporate America. Is lying to the customer is seen as okay as long as you can flip a buck. But all corporate America and personal beliefs aside, there's the obvious moral to this story and it's to never trust a nosy Susan. Nosy Susan falls under the same species in the animal kingdom as a Karen. The only thing is that they're not as abrasive as a Karen. They're more of kind of behind the scenes, pulling the strings. Instead of asking to speak to the manager, they'll seek the manager out on their own, and they'll speak to get you in trouble. But you won't know about it. They're the shadowy assassins of the retail world, and they'll get under your skin, they'll destroy you. And you got to be extremely careful, because if you're not, and the Karen gets a hold of you, or the Susan, my apologies, if the Susan gets a hold of you, you're done. You're annihilated, you're completely destroyed, there's nothing you can do. And that's just, it's no good. It's no bueno. So, like I said, moral of the story is to stay away from these people. They're easily identified by simple characteristics such as they will consistently ask you questions if they see you. Not even like basic questions like, where are you from? What is your family like? Who are you dating? Who are you talking to? Who are you affiliated with? What are your beliefs on Saddam Hussein? Just whack weird questions that a normal person who has common courtesy and common sense to mind their own business just wouldn't ask you. And to me, that's just a respectful thing to do. Is when you meet a person, just if you want to ask them a question, ask them questions that aren't, prying into their personal privacy. Like, that's how you get a person to not like you. And just like this nosy Susan that I worked with, nobody liked her. She was constantly getting people in trouble. And I noticed the biggest reason why they do it, like I mentioned before, is just to get, like, I guess, brown nose and make themselves look really good, or make themselves look like great people to the managers. But most of the managers that I worked with, I come to find out, didn't like her either for that exact reason. They weren't very fond of her, but when they're told something, they have to act upon it. It's per policy. But anywho, that's gonna be it for today. With this nosy Susan commentary. If you guys like the video, I want you to leave a like, subscribe if you will, turn on post notifications so you can see when I upload, and hopefully one day we get out of this mess that I'm in. I don't know what this is, but I can't record gameplay right now, so I do apologize. But I will be getting gameplay recording in soon, as soon as I possibly can, as soon as I get it figured out. But I please beg you to bear with me until then. Also, leave a comment telling me if you've ever met a nosy Susan and where you've met that nosy Susan. They're a very unique type of people. Not a lot of people like them, so you get the point I'm trying to make. Anyways, thank you guys. I love you all, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.